Hello, I'm John, and today we are at Patchings again. Following yesterday's brilliant art class with David Bellamy, we thought we'd take it one step further in our experimental, real-life, situational, online, virtual combo series of events that we're having. And today we are going backstage at Patchings, at the Patchings Search Press Artist and Author Expo, and we're joining Chaz, who is one of the owners of the site, and we're going to find out a little bit more about the history of Patchings, about the different events, and then we'll show you some of the rooms, some of the exhibiting artwork, and some of the books, and maybe a few other things that I don't even know. So we're gonna go on the fly. You can help dictate the pace and course and direction of this show if you like. So if we're looking around and you see something that maybe Chaz has just whizzed past and you want him to go back, by all means shout out on the Q&A, and we'll try and go back to those areas so that we can explore things. So this show is in your hands, and I'm here as the host to try and make it as smooth as possible. But first of all, let's say hello to Chaz. Hello Chaz, how are you?
Hello, John. Fine, thanks. Are you all right?
Yeah, very well. So you're one of the owners of Patchings, and it's a big site, isn't it? How many acres is it?
It's just under 60 acres in all.
Wow.
Just on the edge of Sherwood Forest, which many people may have heard of.
Yeah, good old Robin Hood. And
That's the one.
So these 60 acres, they're not all art galleries, are they?
No, we've got a series of farm buildings that were farm buildings back sort of 30, 40 years ago. And that was it. And the rest of the site in those days was ploughed and cropped for potatoes, for Walker's crisps, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
So in fact, if you ever see Patchings and look at our website, all the trees and all the various grounds and gardens that we've got have been planted by us over the last few years. So yeah. It's a lovely site. It's quite undulating. We've actually got a lake that we made thanks to British coal in those days. So it's a lake that has a Monet bridge over it, because one of our focuses here at Patchings is to enjoy painting in the open. So as well as exhibition areas and workshop areas and studios and cafes, etc., we do encourage people to come and enjoy the site and to paint here.
Which is lovely, and I had the opportunity of visiting you in July when you had your main exhibition there, and it was fascinating. I walked around. You've got this artist walk, haven't you, with different little huts or houses with particular artists featured in each one, and you even have an app that works in those things. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's only recently developed. We call it an artist trail, and literally it's a walk through history. Gary's just joined me now, thankfully. So if we get any technical problems, he's with me.
Hello, Gary.
So yes, the artist trail. It's a walk along over 60 paintings that have been encased in glass, and these are recognizable paintings from art history. So we start with the Mona Lisa, and we go right to the top of the site, where we see contemporary work, more contemporary work. And along the way, as you say, we have a number of gazebos, a number of what we call painting studios. And these are dedicated to particular artists, well-known artists. So we have one for Rembrandt, one for Van Gogh, Monet, Turner. And the interesting thing in terms of the app that you mentioned is that people can download a free app when they're here, and there are markers in each of the gazebos. And as you walk into the gazebo and place your phone on one of the markers, then Rembrandt will literally stand up and talk to you about his work on self-portraiture. And it's fantastic, it really is. And you can even walk around the augmented reality and see what he's doing, because Rembrandt is painting a self-portrait as he speaks to you. And you can also have your photograph taken next to him. It's a fantastic experience.
It's super high tech. That is
It
very
really is, but so simple to use.
Yeah.
It's like falling off a log. But also inside each gazebos, they are hexagonal So 3 of the sides in each gazebo has a glass representation of a famous picture. So as far as Rembrandt is concerned, we have the Night Watch, and that is sort of 6 foot high in 3 panels of glass. And with the light behind it, it really is extremely striking. Yeah. So that's a special project. Actually, it was opened this time last year, by the Duke of Gloucester. So we're very privileged to have him here, because he came here when we originally opened part of the centre, something like 20 years ago. So we have a connection with him, and it was good to have him back.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Now, so explain to me how this farm that you now inhabit and everything, and your family owns, went from potatoes to art.
Well, it's a long story, as these things are, but very simply, my sister Liz, she was at that point a self-employed artist that ran a craft centre, and the focus in those days, so we're going back to the sort of early 80s, was craft, and it's always been her vision to have somewhere which was totally to do with art, and making art accessible, not a stuffy gallery in a town, but somewhere where people can actually enjoy art. And that is what our sort of philosophy has always been, that Patchings is a place for people to enjoy art freely. So the centre is free to come in, and she had the opportunity of actually looking at these redundant buildings because she painted the portrait of the owner, and he wanted literally to get rid. So we did some careful negotiation, and in the early stages just managed to purchase the redundant buildings to create galleries, studios, etc. And as time went on, we were able to obtain a little bit more land from the same farming family, and we moved on from there. I joined her right at the beginning because my background was social work. I've always painted. Okay. I've been interested in art, so we moved in as a family with us, and now we have my son-in-law Gary, who also is part of the setup as well. So yes, it's a family business, and we're very proud of that, actually.
That's lovely to do something as a family and all be bought into it. I wish my family would really want to do what I'm doing, but unfortunately they seem to always want to do the opposite. But anyway, now this Search Press Artist and Author exhibition, do you tend to do it each year, or?
No, this is the first time.
Okay.
We've done a lot with Search Press because of the festival. They're always an important presence at the event. And really, we thought it would be an idea to try and look at their artists, and particularly artists that have had work published fairly recently. So we have 9 artists, in fact, that are authors for Search Press. And we thought it would be quite nice to have an exhibition, because although their books are important, they sell their books, and the exhibition is linked to book sales, people don't always get the chance to see their work firsthand. And to us, that was quite important. So that's sort of the background to it. And we just thought that this sort of exhibition would be of interest to people, linked with books. So yeah, we've got David Bellamy's work. I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have a look at that. And just for everybody at home, if you are interested, because I think these paintings are originals, I believe, is that right?
Yes, yes.
So they're original paintings, and they are for sale. So if you see anything that you think, oh my goodness, that has really struck a chord with me, I'd love to. Write it down on the comments or whatever. I can come back to that a bit later, and we can give you the information about how to get in touch with Patchings to purchase that art. So do if you see something that's interesting, do let us know. And also Chaz will I'm sure he'll be more than happy to go back and show you in a bit more detail if you want to have a bit more of a close-up of it. And also we'll have a look at some books as well. If you want any particular more detail, or Chaz to kind of flick through a particular book or something, then also shout out on the Q&A. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Chaz, the artists that you are featuring for this particular expo are Angela Gorgon, Lisa Ann Watkins, Stephen Coates, David Bellamy, Matthew Palmer, Tim Fisher, Jeremy Ford, Rob Waring, the late Rob Waring, and Vivian Corson. Hopefully, have I missed anybody, or is that?
No, that's the lot. Yeah.
Great. All off the top of my head. I wasn't
You
reading
do
anything at
well,
all.
very well. Yes, I'm impressed.
Right. So if you could flick the camera round the other way, and now we can have a look at a little bit more of a close up on some of the
Yeah,
works. There may
yeah,
be a bit of glare because some of them I can notice have got
yeah.
glass, but hopefully you should be able to see.
That's all right. So this is Andrew. Sorry, this is Lisa Ann Watkins. We had a demonstration from her yesterday afternoon in the pavilion, and it was watercolor pencils. Not an easy medium, and she did the head of a cow. And I have to say, my job at these presentations has been to take photographs, but
Yeah.
I was totally enthralled. It really was a super demonstration, and the skill that she had bringing this cow to life, it was absolutely brilliant, I have to say.
Wow.
So these are all her pieces.
I can tell with the detail of those. They probably take quite a lot. They won't be like a 25-minute demo piece. These will they? That David Bellamy did yesterday. These will take a long time for her to paint, I would imagine, because there's a lot of detail in them.
Yes, I mean, she was saying that a good 2 weeks at least, if not longer, to work on them, and I would say very clever. But also, I mean, she doesn't just work. I mean, she mainly works with coloured pencil and sometimes pan pastel and other bits, but this was watercolour pencil. And as she added the water to these pieces, once she put the pencil in, it just brought it to life. It was absolutely brilliant.
Lovely.
Very clever indeed. And her book is the newest, actually. And not only does it feature a work, but she looks at the process and how you can achieve these lovely fur effects in her work. You can see that on the cat, can't you?
Yeah,
you probably see that. But really, very, very clever. I was amazed, I have to say. And then totally opposite to that, we've got David Bellamy. His work's on the wall opposite there. And I mean, David is a great friend of Patchings. He's every year at the festival demonstrating to an audience of about 300 people. And, not only is he good, but he's a character. He really does give you little anecdotes about his work, but super.
He's done so much traveling. He's got so many stories up his sleeve, hasn't he?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And I mean, all of his paintings are, I think the majority of his work, he starts from life. He studies it. He's there on the spot painting. Definitely, definitely. And sort of more domestic scenes like that with the farmyard setting.
Yeah, he handles light really well in his skies. Sometimes they really glow.
Yeah, this is a nice one. We've used this as a promotional piece for the exhibition. Again, look at that. It's super, isn't it?
And out of interest, if you wanted to purchase that as an original, how much is that going for?
That's going for £635. In actual fact, on our website, there is an online catalogue with all the work in.
Okay.
With prices and everything, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, they're lovely and worth, I have to say, an investment, I would suggest.
Yes.
Really, it's lovely. It is brilliant.
Lovely.
But as you say, the light and the effects of sky is really a feature of his work.
Yeah.
Really is.
And it was lovely. It was lovely to host him again yesterday, and it was a very successful class. Even though we were trying to fit in 3 classes in one, but
yes, very much a challenge for him. But he responded very positively.
He did. It
was brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant.
So that's David's work. We've also got there's another couple here which we've not looked at. This is a bit of a departure in terms of David there.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's called, I picked a good one to pronounce here, Tuwalula Players Mount Sinai. So there you go.
Okay.
But this is a lovely one. I mean, for a simple, that's a super picture, isn't it, that one?
Yeah. He's caught the movement and the movement of that water really well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
So when he paints, he's so effortless. It always amazes me. He just kind of, slops the brush on, and it just happens to just really work and make it pop. Oh God, I wish I had that skill.
I think one of the things from the demonstration yesterday was that certainly from our audience, when he introduced that strong, violent color almost on his picture, there was a gasp of an amazement really from the audience as they see him slosh this paint around. But yeah, and then it all comes together, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah, it's really good.
So that's David. We've got another couple of Lisa's pieces there. That's called Little Blossom for obvious reasons. And
that's nice, yeah.
And that one as well, as that's called Perry Pug.
Gosh, she's caught those eyes amazingly well.
Brilliant, aren't they? They really are. Yeah,
incredible.
This one's painted in coloured pencil and pan pastel.
Wow.
But yes,
that must have taken a long time as well. That incredible.
And there's just one more, which is a Lady in Red. This is called.
Oh, that's nice.
Very effective.
Yeah, she's really brought the characters of those animals out.
Yeah. So the exhibition's in two galleries. We've got this is our Crew Yard gallery. We've got two main galleries, and the other one's upstairs where the reception is not so brilliant. But this is the work of Stephen Coates.
Oh yeah.
Who was with us on Friday.
That's lovely. Yeah. Silhouette of two.
Yeah, it's a lot of landscape work. That's quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
I think the other thing about, we tend to favour group exhibitions here. Earlier in the year, we had the Society of Women Artists from the Mal Galleries. And having a group exhibition, there is so much variety and therefore creates a lot more interest in the exhibition itself. You know, variety of subjects, styles, different media. So these are all, and this is Matthew Palmer.
Oh,
yes, he's quite well known. So we've got a series of watercolours by him. An interesting one there. This is the home of this is Mansfield Town, one of our local football sides. We're quite pleased now that we've got Nottingham Forest in the first division, so in the Premier Division.
Oh, yes.
Back from the days of Brian Clough. So these are Matthews. Very different. I mean, in many respects, a lot heavier with the colour than David. It's watercolour.
Yes. And
then this is Whitby, quite a popular spot on the coast. So I mean, it as I say, the exhibition being a group exhibition like this, and I think we've done a little bit of a video as an introduction on our website with one or two artists speaking, and it's interesting to hear them and appreciate that, as well as the enjoyment of painting they get, excuse me, they also enjoy teaching and passing on their knowledge and their experience. And that's, I mean, I teach art as well, but it's not easy to do that. And also to write about it as well. I think that's really...
Definitely. It's one of the biggest challenges we have, because there's so many great artists in the world, but trying to find great artists who are great teachers you're totally right. It's very difficult. We sift through a lot of different artists on our channel.
And that's also Matthew. Just got a couple more here. This is going back to Stephen's work. That's pretty impressive. And I think the other thing about these artists, all of them, you know, they have not only they've got the skill of passing on their expertise and their talents, but they can sort of pitch it. I mean, yesterday, you know, we had a cross section of people presenting their work and teaching, but they were able to pitch it to different levels of the audience. So, you know, it was appropriate for beginners who perhaps hadn't even picked up a paintbrush before, to those that are more experienced. And again, that's part of their skill.
Now, do you want to put it back on your face again?
Are you sure?
Don't worry, it's a robust lens.
I hope it is, yeah.
Now, so these are the two art galleries, and thank you so much for giving us a tour of those. And you say there's something upstairs which we started off in actually when I first logged in, but actually the reception up there did seem a bit dicey, so I'm not sure we want to risk that because it did seem to cut off. But what are your thoughts, or do you want to, or?
Well, that's the other gallery. I've just shown, this is what we call our crew yard gallery that you've just looked at. But the other one is the barn gallery, which is upstairs. I mean, I can take you next door to see if one of our we've got a studio artist here that's based here. If you want to have a look at his work. And also,
where's the area that you keep all the books and things like that as well?
Oh, that's in the gift shop. We could try that across there. Do you want
Which one do you want to do first? I'm open to either.
Well, I'll just show you inside. This is prior to the pandemic. We had a series of artists that were based at Patching, that they worked from their studios, and they were not just painters, but they're craft workers, textile workers. But sadly, the pandemic put a paid to that. But one that has remained with us is Tas Severus. I'll just quickly nip inside his studio there.
Okay.
This is Tas.
Hello, Tas.
He's been with us for a long time, really, since almost the start of Patchings, and he has a studio based here. Tas works in acrylic, pastel, quite variety, and often, as you see, quite vibrant work.
Yes, yeah, that's great.
So yeah, and Tas works from here. He teaches in his studio and does portraiture, as you can see. And evidence that yes, he's actually working. So yeah, and again, it's just something different for visitors. You know, it's important that certainly from a very practical point of view, that visitors have a good experience here.
Yeah.
Say that coming to Patchings is free. So
and you do all your painting in this room, this studio, Tas?
Most of it.
Right.
That's you did Tas demonstrations and things.
Okay.
Go to art groups. Yeah.
I do art societies and clubs, and away from Patchings, even though I might do courses for Patchings. And if it's desperate, I'll do work at home as well.
There we go.
Yes.
Depends what he's got on. Yeah.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Yeah. There we go.
That's
anyway, thanks ever so much, Tas.
Yeah. Thank you, Tas. And it looks lovely outside here. It looks like you can, because you serve coffees and things like that, don't you? So
yes, we've got two crew yards. The farm buildings themselves form a sort of an inverted F, and we just shout out if I start to lose you.
Okay.
So we do have a framing studio, which this is on a Sunday. So we do framing and printing. And then we've got this area. So you can see this is one of the crew yards we've got here where people can have something to eat. And we've got the restaurant on to the right there. And the barn gallery is upstairs on the left door. And then we've got a reception and art materials we sell and a gift shop.
It's a big site to manage. How many staff have you got, Chas?
Well, sadly, since I'll just walk back a bit because of the reception, if I'm losing you. Yeah, I mean, we in terms of staff, we actually continue just to open a shorter week from Wednesday through till Sunday. So we've got about 15 staff that work for us through the week, and of course, it's a mixture of people because we've got the grounds to upkeep and. Yeah, but it's I think like many family businesses, it's down to us. We do a lot ourselves. I mean, on Thursday I was cutting the grass and Gary was chopping some hedges. So we all
mucking in. That's good.
Yeah, and it's and that's quite important to us.
Yeah. So finally then, this gift shop, well, if there's anything or anywhere that you would like Chas to, Wi-Fi permitting, that you'd like Chas to have a look at, do message me. I'm sure you're all as enthralled as I've been, as we've been going on this little tour. But in the meantime then, maybe this gift shop that we were talking, because actually one of the things that was mentioned yesterday at David Bellamy's class, he was talking about a particular... what was it? Masking fluid. There we go.
Oh, masking fluid. Yes.
He was talking about a particular masking fluid,
yes, that's right.
And I heard a certain shout out from you that you sell it at the shop. So it sounds like this shop is a reasonable size, is it?
It's not too bad. I think it art materials is a very difficult part of our business, I suppose, being honest about it. And sadly, a lot of art shops on the high streets, certainly my experience is, they've gone because it's difficult to maintain it. But because it's part of Patchings, because we've got
Yes.
our own art school, then it's a natural place to buy materials. And it's not a cheap part of the business to run, because there's nothing worse in going into an art shop for a specific color or a specific piece of equipment and you're not having it.
Yeah.
People, so you've got to keep things topped up.
Yes.
But we sell a lot of ranges of art. Well, we sell all the major ranges of Daler Rowney, Windsors, all the rest of them. So yeah, it's good, and that's where we also have a reception, and where we sell books, Search Fresh books, and things like that. Yeah.
Brilliant. And does it have good Wi-Fi in there?
I can try. Do you want me to wander over?
Should we try?
Across there.
Yeah.
With the blue, you can see the reception sign. Can you see
that? Okay. It's that sort of 3-pointy house.
Yeah,
or
that's
shed.
right. Yeah, that used to be the boiler house and where the chickens were kept when it was a farm. So yeah, so that's where they are, the books and the art materials. So I mean, I can try. Give it a try.
Let's try. Because it seems okay at the moment.
Okay, you're still with me?
Yeah, because obviously when I was there in July, it got quite patchy on my phone, but so I know how patchy it can get. Who's your hedge cutter?
That's Gary.
Is it?
Yes, yes. Oh, you're still with me. That's our gift shop. That used to be the location of all our studio artists, but now it's a lovely. Mary Rose is our curator in there, and she does a marvelous job of making it look very special. Lots of individual pieces, ceramics, all sorts of things.
Right.
Are you still there?
Yes, we are. Oh, great. We're doing well.
That's great. So this is this is our art material shop. There's Isabel behind there, who is.
Hello, Isabel.
So here's the range of art materials.
Brilliant.
The poster for Search Press.
Okay.
I'm frantically looking for the Pebeo. I can't go without showing you that. Wait, do you know where the Pebeo is, Isabel? Drawing gum. Anyway, before we go there, I'll just show you the. So here are the books.
Okay, there we go.
And the book, that's one of the books that David was talking about yesterday, Arctic Light. So it's with the range here. David's got a lot of books, as you see.
Yes,
a really wide range. I think he's one of the most prolific authors. Angela Gorn, who's upstairs in the Barn Gallery, she has she does animal portraiture.
Yeah, and we actually featured her on our channel about a week or so ago, and she did a little leopard cub face, and it was really lovely. Yeah, she's a very talented artist.
She is indeed. She was the first one that kicked off our series of demonstrations in the last few days, right. And I was a little bit apprehensive because I've never seen her demonstrate before, but she did a tiger head, and she really brought it to life. Brilliant. It really was.
Yeah, she's really good.
Vivian Corson is another artist. She's upstairs in the gallery. Her flower painting is great. We sell a lot of her work, cards, etc. She does do some absolutely fabulous botanical work. Really is very good. It's a super book. And again, like all these artists, the books that they've written are not just examples of their work, but they actually show the process.
Yes.
Really very helpful. And then we've got something else quite prolific is Stephen Coates and his books.
Yeah.
There's one here actually with a number of artists, with Jeff Kersey, who we know as well, Graham Booth, who I think you know, Matthew Palmer, all contribute to that book. And then, another range here. These are by Matthew. He's got an interesting book that he talked about, which he's developed. Well, he wrote as a sort of a companion, as the title explains, that it's a book to take with you when you're out painting, and talks about color mixing, etc.
Yes, we hosted him maybe 3 weeks ago, and he showed that, and it's a little elasticated tag that keeps it all together, which is
That's,
it's good idea. It's a good idea to do something
yeah, that's right. I won't undo it. Well, I can try. Doing it one
with
hand
one
is not
hand. Exactly.
easy, but no, it's good. And we've got, I think, on Thursday, haven't we? I'll just no, I can't do it with one hand. We've got a we've got a paint along on Thursday with Jeremy Ford, and
Yes.
so he's doing that'll be another new experiment for us.
Now, while you're talking about that, I may as well do the plug for that, because it's going to be quite an interesting. So obviously we did one with David Bellamy yesterday, which was brilliant, and we had a room full of people at Patchings that were watching the show live, as well as all of you around the world. But this Thursday, as well as just watching, we're actually going to be having a room full of people painting along, rather than just sitting on chairs and watching the demo from the artist. So Jeremy Ford is going to be painting along, and we're going to have a room full of artists painting along at Patchings in one of the art studios, as well as you at home hopefully painting along as well at the same time. So that'll be quite interesting, and we're going to hopefully have a roving camera person at Patchings to go around and show some of the art that is taking shape on the various easels too. So it's going to be another another fully loaded show. Hopefully we'll go. Yesterday's went quite smoothly, I thought, and hopefully it'll be just as fun as that. So really looking forward to that. And these are, as I can see, some of the books that Jeremy has written. And I think The Art of Gouache, is that one of his? I think that's one of his more recent ones, I think.
Yeah, yes, I think so. And yeah, I mean, we're looking to, certainly from our end, from Patching's end, the fact that he's working in gouache, and that's what the project is. Yes. It's quite exciting. We've got a lot of fans of gouache paint here, yes. So they're looking forward to that very much. Yeah, that'll be a good session. Yeah,
it should be really, really good. Wow, this is brilliant. So I'm really pleased we managed to get into the gift shop without breaking up. Oh yeah, you managed to get the book open as well.
I've opened the book, yes. So as you see it, no, it's good. Examples of colour mixing, the dreaded greens of the landscape. So yeah. No, it's a nice companion, as it is called.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Brilliant. Well, thank you. And obviously, now, this exhibition is open for the next week, isn't it? But you've always got these books on display, have you? Or can people come in if they want to pop into the to your gift shop at any time? Do you have them available?
Yes, we've got to do a bit of negotiation with Search Press, but I'm sure we'll keep a representative each back so that we've got them available. Because yes, they've been popular, and especially so linked to the exhibition. It just gives a nice leaning towards them, and yeah, as I said early on, for people to be able to see original pieces by these well-known artists is it's quite a privilege. Yes. And good to be able to see. But they are on the website as well, so people can look at them there. Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you. Well, thank you. Is there anywhere else that we've missed, or have we pretty much done the Patchings site? I know you've got 60 acres. We don't want to cover the whole of that, but have we covered the main parts, do you think?
Yes, I think so. I mean, the pavilion, I'm just going to show you this very quickly, if I may. This is, we've also, we work with a couple of brothers from Derbyshire on second-hand art books. And in actual fact, these have been extremely popular. So you've got quite collectible pieces here, Degas. So these are often pieces, bits of work that are out of print. Winslow Homer, actually, American artist who has work in London, I think, at the moment. I think it's the Tate, I'm not sure, Tate or the National Gallery. So yeah, these have been quite popular, out of print books, and on a range of artists. And what we've tried to do with these books, actually, is to link them to the artists that we have on our artist trail. So the 60 artists. So there's a link: Monet, Constable, as you see, Seurat, all sorts of Ruskin, Turner, of course. These are artists that we feature on the artist trail. So there's a nice link there. But no, I suppose the only other thing to mention, if I can just grab it for a few moments, is the festival. We've not talked about that, but that's a major event that we have each year. And
would you say that's your main feature of the year?
Yes, it is. I mean, basically what that does in one event, I suppose, it brings all together what we try and do at Patchings. In the early days of the festival, it used to be called a convention. It's a name we changed because it was a bit archaic, but that in a way sums up, because it's a bringing together of people that enjoy art, that take part in art, whether you're an amateur or a professional. And that still happens with the festival. It's all about getting people together. And we know that although artists attend and exhibit and demonstrate, they also enjoy the actual meeting people and meeting each other. I mean, often art is seen very much as an isolated occupation, profession, to be able to meet in groups and together, similar artists, people welcome that. So yeah, it is the major event. It's a 4-day event. It's always the same period in the beginning of July. Next year it's the 13th. And yes, it's all about what Patchings is about, really, bringing people together to enjoy and experience, take part if you want, because there's lots of demonstrations, lots of workshops. Search Press do demonstrations. So yeah, it's a big event, and yeah, it is big, and it's outdoors, so it's a lovely atmosphere, in marquees, grass under your feet and all that. It goes well, I have to say.
Stephanie said it sounds like it's the Glastonbury of art.
It very much is. That's a nice tag. Can we use that?
You'll have to pay a commission, I think. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think, do you have artists, celebrities flying in on the helicopters as well?
Not quite, but they do. We had Adabanji this year, who was brilliant. I don't know if people know him. He's the BBC One Show artist, and he's also vice president of the ROI. And he was a breath of fresh air. He was brilliant. He really was.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds like you have some great fun there, and it's great. How long has the exhibition been running for? How many years? The festival, sorry.
Yeah, 30 years. It'll be 30 this
years. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, and I was lucky enough to go and see it in July as well, which was great, when we were talking about doing this little thing. And we're hoping that hopefully we'll be able to come up with some similar shows like this, maybe even take it up a notch more for next year. We're in conversation, aren't we, Chaz? About
we are indeed, yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Brilliant. Well, if you've got any comments you'd like to make to thank Chaz or anything, now's your time to write that down. We've got a very small boutique audience for this live show, because it's on a Sunday when we don't normally publish things. And let me know, actually, in maybe a private message later, whether doing shows at the weekend versus during the week, whether that is good or whether you're indifferent about that. It'd be good to get that feedback as well, because always looking for that feedback on how we can improve. I know sometimes we get some grumbles about our time, because obviously we're based in the UK, and for people in California, for example, it's 6 a.m. in the morning or something when we're doing a show, which is quite difficult. But do let me know on any feedback there. Yes, Steph said, great fun to see the venue. Thank you very much. And Karen said, wow, really must visit Patchings. So I think they've really enjoyed the tour around the site. Chaz, that was really lovely. So thank you for joining me again. It's been non-stop. Friday, I was in Tuscany doing a plein air. Yesterday with David Bellamy at Patchings. And today we're doing a backstage pass. I mean, it's certainly been a whirlwind tour. And tomorrow it's the beginning of a working week again. So no rest for the wicked. Thank you very much, Chaz. All the best to you. And
thank you.
We'll speak soon.
All the best.
Well, I'll see you Thursday. I'll see you Thursday with Jeremy Ford.
Yes. All the best. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.